All right. Welcome everyone to the technology conference. I'm happy to introduce the CEO of StrongPoint, Jakob Tveraabak. So, Jakob, thanks for joining. Floor is yours.
Thank you, Christopher, and thank you for the opportunity to present StrongPoint to you all. I actually wanted to start off with my vacation story. I was after a long COVID period in Spain this summer, and one of my favorite activities when I'm on vacation is to go to the grocery store, to the frustration of my kids. And when you go to grocery stores in Spain or France or Italy for that matter, it's literally like stepping into a time machine. You're going back 10, 15, 20 years in time to the Norwegian, compared to the Norwegian grocery stores. So why am I sharing my story about going to the grocery store? Because I think there's a number of things that we can all relate to. 15 years ago in Norway, you would see staff going around with paper tags to change the prices on the shelf. You get to the checkout counter and there will be long lines, no self-checkout machines. And when you were to pay, it was not unusual to pay in cash, like in Spain, where I was pretty much the only one paying with a credit card. So in this context, what does StrongPoint do? Well, StrongPoint, we focus on grocery retailers. We're not serving retailers at large. I think in today's environment, it's very important for us to get across the message that we're serving grocery retailers. And the grocery retail revenue for StrongPoint is 84%. Also about the grocery market, it is a highly non-cyclical market. It's a robust, it's a growing, resilient market, and it's unlike any kind of other retail. So we're serving a very, very solid non-cyclical market. And we should also not forget that in Scandinavia, we are leading on efficiency in a number of ways. The technologies that we are developing in Norway and Sweden, for that matter, are bound to be exported to other geographies. So in this context, what about StrongPoint and who is StrongPoint? Well, StrongPoint, we are a quite mature company. We've been in business for 35 years. We've been listed on the Oslo Stock Exchange since 2003, so no Euronext growth. We're on the Euronext Oslo Børs. And we've repositioned the company the last 4 years to become a pure grocery retail technology provider. In terms of geographic markets, we are in 8 countries: Norway, Sweden, the 3 Baltic countries, Spain, and UK and Ireland. No, lastly, with an acquisition that we did this summer. And then in terms of financials, we are at about 1.3 billion kroner run rate revenue. And looking at the pure retail technology business, that has been growing for nearly 60% over the last 3 years. So that's StrongPoint. What about our customers, the grocery retail customers? Well, they're under consistent pressure, but in today's environment, you can even say that the inflationary pressure is making a dent on how grocery retailers are thinking. Of course, the energy price is affecting the food prices, and again, affecting household disposable income, leads consumers more to discount and to private label, putting a even higher pressure on the competitive space. In terms of staff, and this is not just in Norway, but pretty much across Europe, it's getting harder to attract and retain staff. That's becoming a real issue, high turnover in stores staff. And in terms of e-commerce, well, in countries like Norway, you have the incumbent, the existing grocery retailers puzzled about what to do when you have pure players like Oda growing massively. Whereas in other markets, where e-commerce is a relatively large portion of the total grocery market, they're still struggling to make e-commerce profitable. We know that there's a myriad of actions that our customers, our grocery retail customers, need to take, but we also know that technology is going to be a vital and integral part of the solution to these challenges. So with these challenges, what does StrongPoint concretely do? What are the technologies that StrongPoint offers? And so we've taken the roof off the grocery store, So when we look at the challenges that the grocery retailers are facing now, with inflationary pressure and higher food prices, higher competitive space in terms of pricing, that also going to need more frequent price changes. The answer to that, electronic shelf labels. So electronic price labels that we, to some extent, take for granted in Norway. The market for that is massive. Lack of staff or difficult to retain personnel. Well, self-checkouts are going to be a vital part of solving that riddle. Cash management, as I said, in Spain and most other European countries, cash usage is still very high, meaning that how to handle cash is going to be instrumental in how to get savings happening in the store. And lastly, I won't go through all, but when you if you were to buy snus or cigarettes or painkillers in Norway, the likelihood of you picking them up in a bin safe is very high, all contributing to making the store more efficient. That's in-store. What about e-commerce, where, as we're saying, there's a bit of two tails depending on which geographies you're in? Regardless, StrongPoint offers the most efficient solutions to tackle the biggest cost items when you want to handle e-commerce logistics in groceries, both the picking and on the last mile. So on the picking side, we have, to our knowledge, the fastest, most efficient manual picking solution in stores that has been extended into dark stores. And we also now, with AutoStore, as the first grocery retail specific distributor of AutoStore, we have automated robotic picking. So everything in place to make the picking as efficient as possible. We also have all possible last mile solutions. We have our lockers, grocery lockers with ambient, chilled and frozen, stationary, mobile, indoor, outdoor, of course, home delivery, pickup in store, and even drive-through solutions. So we have all the solutions in place to handle the e-commerce challenges and opportunities that arise for the grocers. So with this, you'll be asking, well, where and how does StrongPoint make money? Well, to help us out here, we're introducing the StrongPoint sandwich. And as always with a sandwich, you start with the bread and butter. And our mature, stable, robust in-store solutions that have been in the market for many, many years, that's really the bread and butter for StrongPoint. And today, that constitutes about 85 to 90% of the revenue of StrongPoint. And for these solutions, we're achieving between 10 to 12% EBITDA. So 10 to 12% EBITDA on the bread and butter solutions that we have. But you can't just only have bread and butter. You need a topping. And our topping, those are the e-commerce solutions. And we have and we will continue to be investing deliberately and consciously into e-commerce solutions. It's fair to say in today's environment, we don't have yet the scale of the e-commerce business that we are expecting to happen. E-commerce is bound to grow. And if anything, today's environment might just be a dip, but e-commerce will be growing. And that's the topping of the StrongPoint sandwich. And lastly, we also need some sauce on top. Of course, we are also exploring autonomous stores, fully autonomous stores. We're exploring picking and shelving robots. So StrongPoint, we want to be both relevant today, but also tomorrow and for the future for our customers. So if this is a StrongPoint sandwich, then you might ask yourself, well, what are the opportunities in the market that we serve? So I'll take you through the key points on this slide, our white space opportunities. So if you look at the 8 geographies where StrongPoint is present, you could argue that in a country like Norway, we are already serving all the grocery chains. We're serving Norgesgruppen, serving Coop, Rema, Bunnpris. So it's 100% grocery chain coverage. Same in Sweden, ICA, Coop, Bergendahls, Axfood. Same in the Baltics, IKI, Maxima, Rimi, etc. Our newer economies, UK and Ireland and Spain, there's still lots of white space. Still lots of white space in those new economies. And as an example, in Spain, we're serving Alimerca, Plus Fresh, etc. But it's still a long way to go. And the sheer size of these markets are immense. Just taking one grocery retailer like Mercadona, the biggest in Spain, has a turnover of more than the entire grocery retail market in Norway. So that's sort of how we think about the white space when it comes to grocery chains. But let's look at Norway, because there's still a lot of white space in the solution penetration, or increasing the solution penetration. The Vensafe that I introduced earlier to get cigarettes, painkillers, etc. It's by far not in all stores. By far not. Still lots of opportunity to get a robust, mature solution out in the market. The self-checkout solutions you see out there, those are not StrongPoint solutions. I like to emphasize that. So, and the reason I'm saying that is the next time you go to a self-checkout solution and you want to check or to buy bananas, say, the reason or the hassle of finding the barcode number or searching up the bananas on the screen is not going to happen with a StrongPoint solution. StrongPoint has integrated with a solution, an AI and machine learning algorithm that would automatically item detect the item on the scale, just taking away all the friction. We know that that solution is just by far superior to any other solution out there. So when you're irritated about the self-checkouts in Norway, remember those are not StrongPoints. We will be getting our solutions out in the market also in Norway. And then lastly, for Norway, to explain a bit about these examples of white space is e-commerce. Again, Oda is growing massively, and it's really just a question of time before they're not just a call it irritating small player, but rather a considerable player to be taken seriously and to take actions on. When you move down to Spain, again, big grocery chain white space, but also on the solutions penetration. The cash cards that you will pretty much see in all Norwegian and Swedish stores is a massive opportunity still in Spain. Of course, because of the cash usage there. E-commerce is also picking up. Actually, Ocado just set up their first store with Auchan there. And self-checkout is also a element which is in high demand in the Spanish market. So there's the white space for StrongPoint, both on the bread and butter solution, but also on the toppings is massive. So what does that mean in terms of ambitions for StrongPoint? Well, actually, a few years back, we set forth our 2025 strategic ambitions. And those were, number one, to become a pure grocery retail technology company. It was 2, to achieve a 2.5 billion Norwegian kroner revenue, and 3, to achieve a EBITDA of 13 to 15%. So now in 2022, we're looking back and checking off the first mark. We've divested the last 2 years our non-core assets, labels, production, and cash security business. So we're now a pure grocery retail technology company. On the revenue side, we're well on the way to achieving the 2.5 billion. in revenue. And when it comes to the profitability levels, it's going to be increased in a combination of two things. One, getting the bread and butter EBITDA of 10 to 12% today even higher as the more or the bigger and newer market for us, like UK, Ireland, and Spain, will be getting the same operational leverage as we have in the Nordics. So getting to use the resources on more solutions. And number two, it's gaining traction on e-commerce as the market is growing or will be growing. Growing the e-commerce business means that we will get the full scale opportunities or full scale benefits of the solutions that StrongPoint offers in the e-commerce space. So finally, why should you invest in StrongPoint beyond the obvious share price being too low argument? Well, firstly, this is a safe market. We're serving the grocery retail space. It's a stable, growing, and profitable market. And it's as banal as, even regardless what happens, you need food and you need beverages. That's the market we serve. Secondly, StrongPoint is a mature and solid market. We're not new on the block. We've been around for 35 years. We have a very strong balance sheet. We have no debt. And all the investments we are doing and have been doing in, for instance, e-commerce is all being expensed directly. So you won't find any big posts in the balance sheet there. And lastly, we are growing with our current customers and future customers. And current customers, we have never lost a customer. So it's never in the history of StrongPoint been such that we've lost a customer in the grocery space. It takes time, it takes years to build trust, reliability with customers. And we intend to both keep our customers going forward, add new solutions to them, but also get new customers. So to round things off, Christopher, I hope that in 10 or 15 years' time, when my kids go to Spain, they will see a lot more Scandinavian technology solutions in the store than what is currently the case. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. That's. I hope so as well. I hope so as well. Technology will be important for Norway in the future, and it is today, obviously, but it will play a big part, I think. I have a lot of questions, and we could be talking for an hour, but try to keep it short. So actually, you touched upon it a bit. So you're hoping you'll see more Norwegian technology in retail, grocery retailers in Spain and so on. But you touched upon your partnership with AutoStore. Also, I thought you said something about the partnership with Ocado. But what I'm wondering here is, are you kind of agnostic to whether this is in like a big warehouse way outside a big city, or whether it's in a smaller shop or a retailer? How should we think about that? So like in the future, in that 2.5 billion target, is there like an increasing share from warehouses with no retailer, no stores? You catch my question?
Yeah, sure. So let me just make it clear first. I mean, we're an AutoStore distributor, and actually the first grocery-specific AutoStore partner. If anything, Ocado is a common enemy. Okay, so they're friends having common enemies. So we're a distributor of AutoStore, and the beauty about a solution like AutoStore is that it's highly scalable. So whether you want to have a smaller, what you typically would call sort of a micro fulfillment centers, or a larger CFC type of facility, the AutoStore solution can provide exactly that.
Yeah.
I think it's also important to recognize the important coexistence between, say, manual or store picking, manual storages, and also automated robotic storages. That's part of the natural journey of any retailer wanting to grow into the e-commerce space. You typically wouldn't be setting up a large-scale 2 billion kroner CFC from day one without any customers. That would be prohibitively expensive. But it's a lot of trust in knowing that StrongPoint has the ability to serve you when you're starting small, leveraging the stores to going big. And those things will live in coexistence and be a very important part of StrongPoint's e-commerce offering.
Yeah. All right. Great. And I guess, maybe a lot of people would ask you, like, you're a 1.3 billion run rate, you're aiming for 2.5. How do you get to 2.5? But I'm more thinking, why only 2.5? This is we're early movers in a market that's going to be global and it's going to be big. Is there like you can only get to a certain size before you have to kind of combine with another competitor in another geography, or why only 2.5 billion?
Well, if anything, I would hope that we can. I don't like to overpromise, so I'd rather overachieve. It would be the short answer to that.
Yeah. Okay. And then I guess finally, in the interest of time, recession is on everyone's mind. You said this was resilient. You said not cyclical. I guess everybody needs groceries, but yeah, you haven't seen any headwinds thus far. What you're seeing for the next couple of quarters that make you confident that it's not an issue, or if anything, what red flags are you seeing?
I think as you said, right? You can take the Maslow's pyramid, and then the bottom there you have fine food and drinks, and people need that. So it's a very, very good foundation we have to grow on. That said, of course, there's things happening within the grocery industry. Right? There's a shift towards discounters. There's a shift towards private label. But I'm pretty confident that grocery retailers are not going to be the one squeezed in between higher prices from the farmers and CPGs.
Sure.
And the consumers. And as such, we're looking at a very solid base of customers making money, willing to do investments, not just for today, but also for tomorrow.
So you're not seeing like they'll say, well, we'll have to push the kind of the start of this project and this investment another quarter or two, like that kind of moves. Careful customers.
I think uncertainty is on everybody's lips, but at the same time, I also believe that the professional and big scale grocery retailers will see through the recession as well and do the investment right to succeed in the future.
Yeah. All right. That's a nice way to round off. Thank you very much for joining, and thanks everyone for listening in. We'll speak soon.
Thank
Good
you.
luck.